Michael, what was your favorite part about this movie? What did you like about it? Did you have anything you wish was more? You don't have to go too deep. Just kind of quick summary.
No, I loved again with the world building. Everything exponentially got bigger, and like you said, I wanted more. Like I want to go to like the Japanese Continental. I want to know more about that. I want that family. I want to, and like just the lore of like how they're fighting is completely different, unlike how John Wick would have been trained. And like then they end up in Germany, and that whole family. Like,
oh my gosh.
I want, like
the Ruski Roma.
That was, and then like him being reintroduced to the family, and I want all of that.
See, like, I'm the opposite. I think that's fun filler, but I go in this specifically for the action sequences. Like that's fun to have a little bit of information between, just to like kind of make a story out of this. But the John Wick franchise is a showcase in what stuntmen can do to me, or for me, not to me. Whoa. Freudian slip?
We have taken a left turn in this podcast.
This bedroom is
It's the new room.
wild.
It's the new room. Vince's looking at himself in the mirror over there, getting a little too comfortable.
oh.
But for real,
Tell us
though, man,
more
like,
about what they can do to you, Vince.
did you see what they were able to do in this movie?
Okay, so like that was what's amazing is this show is continuous. Like it's just stuntmen doing stuntmen stuff. As much stunt.
This is the perfect argument for a stuntman need an Oscar argument. Like, look at what this guy did. This Chad Stahelski has a background in stunt work, and he created an entire movie, an entire world around stunt work, and it's incredible and so much fun to watch. And it has some filler lore and stuff that's interesting, and like it's cool world building, and then you're back into the cool stunt work.
Okay, I have a question. Okay, I don't know how you don't like wrestling. So that's not my question. I'm just now frustrated. If the lore wasn't there, would the action sequences be as important?
As impactful.
Like, is the lore so good that it falls into the background and works so well that it makes the action more important?
It gives a reason for the action for like sure.
A MacGuffin.
Yeah. But like even you go back to John Wick 1 where the story is like so simple. It's just a guy whose dog got killed and he gets pissed. And I mean, I've simplified.
You're sounding like it was just a puppy.
No,
it was not just a puppy.
But what I'm saying is like,
John Wick?
Even when you simplify it to just that, as easy as just like it's an ex-hitman whose dog got killed and now he wants revenge. Let's go get revenge.
And
That's
his
all
car
you need.
got stolen.
And then the next one, it's like, let's expand a little bit and introduce more. And it's interesting stuff, but it is very much for me, just kind of like, it's important to make a movie, but I'm going to the movie for the action sequences.
I like
than the
both
lore
of your
for me.
guys' points, and I kind of like the balance. I think if I had to pick, I would kind of lean a little more towards Michael's side, where I like the lore and where it goes. But I feel like the reason why John Wick is so good is because it strikes a good balance between those two.
Yeah.
There is so much, and people go to see all of these crazy stunt works, all these stunt moves, these weird, crazy deaths that people can have that John Wick can inflict upon people and whatnot. But it is a really cool world, just seeing the Continental and how it exists worldwide and what happens in these ancient like rituals that they still honor and everything, right? Just things that sound absolutely crazy. And just, I don't know, like it's cool. And the characters are, like obviously the character of John Wick itself is iconic, but they introduce new characters each time that I also really tend to enjoy. Like the idea of, and I apologize that I forgot his character's name, but the blind guy who's the main...
Kane.
Oh, right, duh.
Little on the nose.
Who's like, he's like not the main antagonist, because obviously Bill Skarsgård is the main antagonist of the movie, but he's like an antagonist to John Wick, while they're also just buddies, they go back a ways.
So cool. Sorry. I've talked a lot.
Well, I was just gonna say it's so cool how this universe operates. Though, is like they're buddies, but like here's a coin, do the work. That's what they do. They have contracts. They complete the tasks. They do the jobs because it's just so full of like blackmail. It's so full of like it's a movie filled with gray areas, and action. Like that's really it. It's just it's fantastic, and like them being all friends actually kind of makes it more intriguing to me. And maybe we can put this into the wrestling perspective if you'd like, really quickly, because I know that there's like feuds within wrestlers, there's friendships and bonds within wrestling, right? But there's also just like this thing that like I'm gonna win the championship, and that's how this feels to me. Is like the Kane, right? His goal is to get free of his bond so he can spend time with his daughter. Like that's his goal. John Wick's is to get free of all this, to escape the world again, then eventually to help Winston get the Continental back in New York and like all this type of stuff. It has like this. It's like a web. If this was a web, like it'd be great. Like that's what it is, and I love it. It's fun, and I feel like the lore and the action, they're on this beautiful balance, and they're just sitting here like they need each other, because what good is a gold coin if I don't understand the lore of why we use it? And there's still more I want to know about it, but I got a little bit more, and I like it. Also, the way that they choose their duel and stuff like that, amazing.
I think I understand what you're saying now. And I think we're kind of mixing up like what we're talking about. For
Maybe.
me, the lore is like the assassins and the high table and all that kind of stuff. It's cool and interesting, not the character relationships. Like the character relationships are definitely important to the franchise because it makes you care about like John Wick winning or like like you said, the daughter or whatever. That is important. But when I say lore, I mean more of just like how the assassinations work, how the Continental place work. It's all really cool and unique, but it's not as important to me as the fight scenes and the relationships between the people that kind of make those fight scenes.
Okay.
I feel more clarified.
Does that-
Okay, but also not to like be a
No.
devil's advocate here, but that is almost like the opposite of what you just said before that.
Is
like,
it?
Yeah, in the
I
sense
just
of
contradicted myself.
well, in the like you were saying about the honor among thieves, like all of that is the lore that you think is just filler. Like without that, I guess maybe not. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's run through a different part of my brain. It is the relationships because of like they didn't have the honor. But is that
Kind of built
steeped
into the lore.
Yeah, built in. It's written so well. It's hard to just dissect.
To separate them.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess the big thing for me is just like I didn't feel like I needed to go back and revisit the first three.
Okay.
Because that kind of like remembering what this guy does or who this guy does wasn't that important to me as I might be contradicting myself again. We'll just move on.